Hey, folks, it's Mark Arum. I hope you're enjoying the Mark Arum Show podcast. A reminder, you can hear this very radio show live Monday through Friday. We're live 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Full disclosure as we start the Mark Arum Show here at 6:08 in the p.m. I am working on zero sleep. Normally I sleep during the day, but I got hooked into those stinking impeachment hearings, and I stayed up and I watched them all.
They didn't put you to sleep?
No.
It was so boring.
I love the historic. I didn't think so at all.
Oh, it was awful.
I love the historic aspect of it. This is, whether you are for them or against them, this is historic. And I've never been able to see an impeachment hearing like this. And I was enthralled. I loved the way that each side of the aisle went after the witness. I watched the whole thing. So I am exhausted, but I'm going to hold it together and keep you entertained for the next 2 hours. Speaking of the impeachment, we'll have coverage, of course, tomorrow morning on Atlanta's Morning News with Scott Slade. Speaking of tomorrow morning, I don't know if Longoria's been coming in early, by the way, Chuck.
12-hour days.
12-hour days, making Longoria do extra work for Erickson. That's messed up. But this morning we had ice on the roads, and tomorrow's going to be another cold day.
Ugh.
So tomorrow morning, just wake up with us. We got you covered, mellish and traffic and all the good stuff. So start your day off right.
There you go.
With 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. We've got a big show tonight. Alex Williams, does he know this food? Speaking of food, Johnny Kielbasa has got some amazing breaking news in the fast food world. But as we always do on a Wednesday, we kick things off with some Millennial Match Game.
Let's play Millennial Match Game.
Joining us live in studio, the undisputed champ of Millennial Match Game. She's Randy from the Digital Desk. Hello, darling.
Well, hello there, Markster.
Welcome back to the Queen of Millennial Match Game. Always a pleasure to have you tonight. Tonight's category for Millennial Match Game brought to you by Rocco's European Garage. Famous movie clips. Think about that, Randy. So, whoa. Oh no, I broke the bell. So I'm going to play famous movie clips, and the contestants on the phone are going to have to guess whether or not you know what movie it is, okay? So that's it. I'm going to play a famous movie clip. These are really famous, so I think you'll get a lot of them.
Oh, you're so much confidence.
It'll be easy. Let's meet our contestants. Bernard is in Hampton. Bernie, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Excellent. So you familiar with Millennial Match Game?
Yes, I am.
And tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, my friend.
I'm retired military, just hanging out.
Congrats on your service. Happy belated Veterans Day, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you're going to be taking on Brian. Brian, welcome to the Mark Arum Show. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself, Brian.
Thank you, sir. Well, I'm Brian, married to a lovely wife, Kimberly. We have one husky. I live in Cumming and work for a third-party money manager in Roswell, Georgia, and happy to be a part of the show.
Your wife's name is what?
Kimberly.
And you have an overweight boy or a dog? You said husky.
No, that's pretty good. No, we have a four-legged pup.
Okay.
Dixie's her name.
I only ask because I used to have to wear the husky sizes from JCPenney. So I just want to clear. I love huskies in all shapes and sizes. All right, so tonight's movie, Millennial Match Game, is famous movie clips. We'll start with Bernard. Randy, the millennial, will she know what movie featured this famous movie clip? Oh, did I get Erickson again on this? I did. Let me try it one more time. Who keeps messing with the buttons in here?
Erickson's the only one that was
One more time.
I don't know.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Well, Millennial Randy, she's a wee bitty thing. Will she know what movie had that famous line? I'll play it again for you.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. What do you think, Bernard? Will Millennial Randy know what movie that's from?
No, I don't think she will.
I'm with you. She is shaking her head vigorously.
What did he say?
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What is even napalm? What is this game? What is that?
It's nothing you want to know. It's bad stuff.
So it's bad. Okay,
Yeah.
so whatever he's talking about, he loves the
bad.
smell of it, and it's bad.
Yeah.
And this is in the 70s or the 80s?
It's old.
Like 50s old?
Anything prior to 1990 is old to you, so it really doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I don't even know what napalm. I really don't know. That was very
I'll give you a
hard.
hint. It's a war movie.
Okay, is Training Day a war movie?
Training Day is not a war movie. It's a great movie.
it's a good
the movie
movie.
is Apocalypse Now.
Oh, no.
Do we have that, guys? The audio
I
still
don't
from
know where
Apocalypse
it's
Now?
at.
We'll find it. All right, you get the point, Bernard. When in doubt, the millennial doesn't know. Famous movie clips on Millennial Match Game. Brian, tie this puppy up. Here's a famous movie cut. Will Millennial Randy know what movie it's from?
I'll have what she's having.
I'll play it one more time for you.
I'll have what she's having.
I'll have what she's having. I know what movie it is, Brian. You know what movie. Will Millennial Randy, though, know what movie that's from?
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm 50-50 on this one because it's an 80s movie, I believe.
Yep.
Everybody's seen it, but
Yep.
I don't know if Lovely Randy's seen it.
I
I normally go when I'm driving down the road listening to you guys thinking go no, but I'm leaning towards yes, but then part of me saying, Brian, stick with your first guess. Shoot. I know, she's like, I'm trying to wait for a hint here, but I'm not going to get one.
Nope.
So I'll have what she's having. I'm going to trust Randy and say yes.
I think she will know this. I think this is popular
Brian,
enough.
no.
Oh, really?
Okay, I have what she's having. I feel like I've heard that a
I'm going to
million
play
times.
it again. I'll play it again for you.
I'll have what she's having.
I'll have what she's having.
Okay, he said it was in the 80s.
Yes.
What's that Pretty Little Something? What is it called?
Pretty Little Something.
No.
No.
What's the girl? The prostitute.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah, was it Pretty Woman?
It was not Pretty Woman. It's When Harry Met Sally.
Who? What? No.
Have you not seen When Harry Met Sally?
No, man.
Oh,
That's a
my
chick flick.
goodness.
Is it?
You would love that movie.
Why would I love it, Mark?
Basically, it's very similar to the relationship you have with Big Husky.
Okay, you know
We get
what?
round 2 Millennial Match Game continues, brought to you by Rocco's European Garage. What's the score, Deb Green?
We got Bernard at 1 and Brian at zilch.
Is it Bernard or Bernard?
It's Bernard.
Bernard. All right, Bernard King. Famous movie clips. Here's the famous movie clip. Will Millennial Randy know what movie this clip is from?
I see dead people.
One more time.
I see dead people.
I see dead people. What do you think? Will Millennial Randy know what movie that's from?
Yes, I think she'll know this one.
I do too. It's a newer movie. It's in the 90s, mid to late 90s. I see dead people, Randy.
Okay, I know this. I
Okay.
do know this. It has Bruce Willis in it.
Yes.
I can't think of the name. Like, hey, I see dead people. I see dead people. Oh, I know this movie.
It's a little kid saying
Okay,
it. To Bruce Willis.
I remember, like, come on, give me the first letter of the movie. I know it. I just Sixth Sense.
Wow.
Go, Randy.
I didn't even give you a letter of any movie. Good job. All right, took you a while, but you got there. All right, Brian, you need this one to stay in the game. Millennial Match Game movie clips. Will Millennial Randy know what movie had this famous line?
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
One more time.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
What an excellent day for an exorcism. What do you think, Brian? Millennial Randy?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, hell no. I'm going with that. An excellent day for an exorcism.
Excellent day to prove Randy wrong. I don't know that one, actually.
Horror movie.
Okay, horror. Clearly, it's not The Exorcist.
Clearly.
Okay, and this is in the 80s.
Late 70s, early 80s.
What's the one about that girl? You know that she had an exorcist on her. They had to take it out of her.
Carrie.
Annabelle? No, Mary who? No, I mean, you know what I'm talking about?
Annabelle is not. Yeah. You get the point, Bri. She didn't know, but it was The Exorcist.
Thank
Was the name of the
God,
movie.
doggy.
All right. Bernard, here we go. If Randy doesn't get this, I'm going to be very disappointed. Not to sway you, Randy. Will Randy know what famous movie this movie quote comes from?
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? What do you think? Will Randy the Millennial know what movie that's from?
Yes, she will know this one.
You say, Bernard says, yes, she will know this one. One more time, Randy.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
I'll give you one hint. It's the biggest movie star in the history of movies that says this line, according to me.
God, that doesn't help. Snakes. Why gotta be snakes? Okay, so snakes.
Snakes.
In
Why
the
has it gotta
80s.
be snakes? Early 80s.
When had the snakes on a plane? That was in the 90s or
Yeah.
something. I don't know this person. He's the greatest person.
Greatest movie star in history, according
Mark
to me.
Arum, yeah.
According to me.
Who do you? I don't even know.
Harrison Ford. Harrison
Oh,
Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, he was in that Indiana Jones. No.
Yeah, I'll give it to her. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Hey.
I forgot. Did Brian say yes or no on that one?
Bernard said yes.
All right, you get the point then, Bernard. I'll give you a hint on this one, Brian. You ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Millennial Match Game. Famous movie clips. Randy has to know this one.
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
I mean, they got the metric system.
What do they call it?
They call it Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese. What movie is that? Do you think Millennial Randy will know, Brian?
Jeez, I don't even know it.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but geez, you don't give her a hint and everything too, like the last one.
The guy that you said Snakes in a Plane? Snakes
Yeah.
in a Plane actor was in it. So you think about that.
All right, Randy. I'm going to put my faith in you one more time.
Yeah, I
Please don't
think
let me down.
you have to know this one, Randy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sugar, because I'm not sure.
Really?
Okay,
Oh, well,
Sammy,
in that case-
I know he had a Jerry curl,
Yes.
and he had a partner. Shoot, he had he wore like a black jacket.
Yes.
Suit. I remember the visual. It was like it's like it's a two-word movie.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's close enough. I'll give it to you. Pulp Fiction.
There we go.
I gave Bernard a little help, so I'll give Brian a little help. All right, that's the end of round 2 of Millennial Match Game, brought to you by Rocco's European Garage. What's the score, Deb Green?
Bernard 3, Brian 2.
Ooh, nail biter coming back after the break. Millennial Randy in studio. Millennial Match Game, famous movie clips. We'll see who ends victorious. Still a lot of show to go as well. Johnny Kielbasa with some breaking fast food news on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. What do you know? It's the Mark Arum Show. Final round of Millennial Match Game brought to you by Rocco's European Garage. Bernard 3, Brian 2. It is Bernard's turn. Famous movie quote edition of Millennial Match Game. Will Millennial Randy know what movie this famous quote is from? Bernard.
Yo, Adrian.
One more time.
Yo, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian. Will Millennial Randy know what movie that's from?
That's tough.
Gotta go quick.
Yeah.
You say
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Yo, Adrian.
Friday something?
It is not Friday something. That is Rocky,
Friday something.
famous Rocky. All right, Brian, will Millennial Randy know what movie this famous quote is from?
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off. What do you think? She'll know it or no?
I'm going to say no.
You say no. Wax on, wax off, Randy.
That's on a Migos song, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be
I
the
don't
same
know.
meaning.
Okay, I don't wax.
on.
Some car show.
Wax off.
No.
Oh, no. That's the
Too
karate
late.
person.
Mm,
Yes.
No, that doesn't count.
Karate Kid.
Oh, man, I knew.
Let me see. Should I do one more? No, we don't have any. One more. All right, who's up? Bernard?
Bernard is up.
Will Randy know what this movie's from?
There's no crying in baseball.
No.
You say no.
There's no crying in baseball.
It ain't. I can't remember, but I'm
All
gonna go
right.
Sandlot. I feel pressure.
It's not. A League of Their Own. Bernard and Brian both win. What did they win, Deb
You
Green?
both got a pair of tickets to go check out the Black Crows June 27th at Lakewood.
Unbelievable
Sweet.
prize. Hang on the line, guys. Low T Chuck will get your info. The Mark Arum Show continues next.
Hey, this is Phil Niekro, inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1997. You are listening to the Mark Arum Show. What other show would you listen to?
Speaking
The
of
Mark
baseball,
Arum Show.
sorry, voice
Brought
guy.
to you by Engineered Solutions of Georgia.
Thank you, Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Speaking of baseball, Braves right-hander rookie Mike Soroka finished 6th in the NL Cy Young Award winner race today. Soroka finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year and 6th in the Cy Young. We just heard some breaking news there from the conservative Viking Eric Erickson. Apparently, Eric and Low T are going to be broadcasting live from Kirby G's tomorrow.
Yeah, I've never been there.
At the Square in McDonough. So we're not going to have Chuck tomorrow on the show. So if you're going down to Kirby G's tomorrow, I want you to do me a favor.
Oh, no.
No, you're going to like this.
Yeah, you're going to
this.
like it. You
You're gonna
really
like
are.
this. I want everybody that goes to the and I really think you should go because Kirby G's is great. They got a great burger. It's going to be fun. You get to see Eric's show live. But I want everyone that goes there to fanboy all over Chuck and ignore Eric. Like I want everyone
leave.
Everyone go up and ask Chuck if they can take a picture with him.
Yeah.
Like just everybody. Like just I want you like ignore Eric and just everyone swarm to Chuck and be like, oh my God, you're so awesome, Chuck.
Call him Low T.
Yeah,
Low T.
yeah, Chuck, Low T. I didn't know you were on Erickson's show, Low T. If everyone could do that, I'd be very, very happy.
I hate you
that,
so
That would make me very, very happy. Yeah, well, thanks for Low T. Thanks for letting me know you're not going to be here tomorrow, Chuck.
Yeah, I was going to tell you after the show.
After the show, before I could bust your chops on the air.
Exactly. That was my plan.
Speaking of listeners, I've been remiss in reminding folks. I haven't even mentioned it on the air yet. So every year, if you're not familiar, since we've been on the air since 2014. In the nightly version of the show, we send a Mark Arum Show Christmas card out to listeners. I make 300 of them, and it's like one of those photo cards with pictures of all the bananas and me, and we send it out, and you put it on your fridge, whatever you want to do with it. But we limit it to the first 300 people that request them. So Deb Green, if they want a Christmas card this year, what do they have to do?
Yeah, all they have to do is send me their mailing address. Email me. It is debra@wsbradio.com. Deborah@wsbradio.com. And I need your mailing address. I don't need your email. So send me your mailing address. First 300 people will get a card. And I've already got people emailing me. Like,
okay.
They know.
Yeah,
they know it's time.
Yeah.
They know it's
and
about
they go
time.
quick. So if you want a Mark Arum Show Christmas card, and I've seen them go for a lot of money on eBay. People get them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you have one from last year, you can take it to the McDonough event and ask Charlie to autograph it.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that'd be great.
I hate you so much, Deb.
So anyway, if you want the Mark Arum Show Christmas card, email your name and mailing address to Deborah@WSBRadio.com. DEBRA. So I asked Longoria to come in studio for this segment because I want your input on this. Deb found this story from AARP. It's the retirement.
Because he's the oldest one here.
Exactly.
No, not. Mark is.
Sleeping position a factor in relationships.
Okay.
Check this out.
All right.
Researchers asked more than 1,000 people to describe their preferred sleeping position and rate the quality of their relationship, found that the closer together people slept, the happier they were as a couple. Nearly all couples, 94%, who spent the night in contact with each other were happy with the relationship, compared with just 68% of those who didn't touch. Even the number of inches apart was a measure of togetherness. Researchers found that 86% of couples who slept less than an inch apart from their partner were happy, compared with only 66% who slept more than 30 inches apart. So, Longoria, I have to ask, when you go to sleep at night with your lovely wife, who now calls you Longoria, thanks to the show,
I wish.
What's your sleeping position? Are you back to back? Do you sleep facing the same direction, or do you sleep facing one another? And are you touching?
Yes, we're touching, and it just, I guess it's mostly face-to-face or...
You spoon her kind of thing?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
But you're always touching. Interesting.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Deb, do you got, what about your sleeping position?
I rarely sleep the entire night, so I kind of toss and turn, so I'm all over the place. But you usually start close and then end up a little
Drift
bit farther.
apart?
Yeah.
Low T Chuck and hot neighbor, your wife?
Yeah, we have a weird thing where we wrap our legs around each other.
That's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
That might be the sweetest thing I've ever heard about Chuck.
Yeah.
Ask Chuck tomorrow how to show you how he does it when you go out to the...
Why do we got to wait till tomorrow?
Like the leg, you like leg wrestle? Did you stay
Kind
that
of.
throughout the night, or do you separate during the night?
Eventually we will, but one of us will wake up and then it'll turn into another snuggling situation.
Now, is it always the same two legs, like your left leg and her right leg? Or
Yeah, mostly.
do you sleep on your back or your stomach?
Yeah, that's usually how we start, and then we'll...
That's
It's like you're in a sack race, where you have one
kind
leg.
of, yeah.
Potato
It's like
sack
we only
race.
have 3 legs.
Yeah, well, Chuck grew up playing those in Montana, so that's
little else
actually
to
the
do.
sweetest thing I've ever heard about you, that you do that. I don't do that. I'm a tosser and turner like Deb.
Yeah.
Like, we'll start off, like, really close to each other, facing each other, but I can never get comfortable. So, like, every 10 minutes, I sleep on my side. So I sleep 10 minutes on my left side, and I switch over to the right side until I fall asleep.
Right.
Like, if I'm in more than 10 minutes in one position, I haven't fallen asleep yet, I flip
just
over.
switch.
Yeah, so
Like an egg.
That's actually I'm shocked. I'm stunned that Chuck has something sweet right now. So I want to know, dear listeners, do you jive with this study? Are you happier if you are in contact with your significant other while you sleep? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Do you sleep wide apart? Do you sleep in separate rooms? What's the sleep like in your bed at night with your significant other? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. On Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. This is The Mark Arum Show. Via the Piccadilly text line for my girlfriend Maya, basically we sleep wherever the dogs let us sleep, and she doesn't like touching because she gets super hot. I don't think I could fall asleep while touching someone. I can't get comfortable. I'm a tosser and turner. How do you sleep with your significant other? I can't wait to ask Russ in Gainesville that question, because he's got to pick from like 1,000 possibilities on how he sleeps. Before we get to your calls, though, Alex Williams joins us for another edition of Does Alex Williams Know This Food?
Does Alex Williams know this food?
Does Alex Williams know this food?
That boy don't know what that is.
That boy doesn't know what it is. The food tonight, Alex Williams, who is a great guy but knows nothing about food. Do you know what etouffee is? Etouffee. Will Alex Williams know this food? Etouffee. Have you heard of it?
I know, I've definitely heard of it.
Okay.
Is it like a type of caviar?
It's Louisiana caviar, my friend. It's a dish served in both Cajun and Creole cuisine, typically served with shellfish over rice. And I picked that because your Alabama Crimson Tide. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you. That was very
They got
kind.
smushed by the Raging Cajuns of
appreciate
LSU.
that.
So now you know, at Touffet.
I knew I'd heard of it before.
It's a seafood dish served over rice. It's delicious. You'll love it.
Okay, I
All right,
trust
there
you.
you go. Alex Williams did not know that food.
Nope.
All right, have a good night, little guy.
Later.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. David joins us on the Mark Arum Show. What's going on, David?
Hey, Mark, what's happening?
How are you, sir?
Great. Love your show.
Thank you, buddy. How do you sleep at night?
Well, it took me 50 years to find my best friend to sleep with. She's beautiful. She feels like a girl because she is. And I used to hate touching. But actually, when I'm married to my best friend, we could sleep on a twin bed. If I wake up during the night and I'm not touching her, I'll scoot over or stick my foot out or something so I can
So
touch
you can
her.
touch her? That's so sweet.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Now, do you sleep? Do you like spoon her? Do you sleep on your backs, on your sides? How does that work?
A lot of times we spoon when we're going to sleep, but typically I'm a stomach sleeper, so I roll over and, we're touching. So a lot of times butt to butt.
Yeah, I'll do the butt-to-butt thing. I like that. I'm actually more of a stomach sleeper myself. Like
I
I'll
can't
sleep
sleep
I'll
on a
sleep on my stomach, but turn my head left. See, if I sleep on my back, I snore like you wouldn't believe. Louder than Bosco, who's a really loud snorer. Jenny is in Lawrenceville. Jenny, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, Mark. I
Hey,
love
Jenny.
your show.
Thank you, dear.
Can't stop laughing listening to you guys talking about how you sleep.
How do you sleep, Jenny? That's the question.
Well, my husband and I, we've been married 25 years, and we have one of these remote controlled beds.
Oh,
so
fancy.
his will be up, mine will be down. He turns away from me, I turn away from him, but we meet in the middle enough times. It's good enough.
Do you
It's
believe
good.
the data that says that people that sleep close to each other or touching each other are happier than couples that don't?
No,
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
I don't
Dad.
believe that
Not at
either.
all.
I don't
No.
believe that because Chuck sleeps. He gives his wife the figure 4 leg lock as she goes to sleep. You guys remember that? Greg the Hammer
Yeah.
Valentine and World.
I actually had a wrestler show me how to do that.
The figure 4
Yeah.
leg lock. That's what Chuck does to keep his wife from leaving him. Puts her in the
that's what it
figure 4
is.
leg lock, and then the Cobra Clutch. Sergeant Slaughter's Cobra Clutch. You remember that? All right, when we come back, more of your sleep patterns and how it affects your relationship. Russ in Gainesville. Plus, Veronica Waters is going to update a story we talked about in the Vinings area a couple months ago. Horrible, horrible story. We got an update on that. We got an hour to go. Still a lot of fun. It's the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB Atlantis News and Talk.
The Mark Arum Show is performed before a live studio audience.
No, I want this town to be near you. I stand
Welcome back to the show and a good Wednesday Eve to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 7:08, 8 minutes after 7 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, heard Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. on 95.555. All the fives, all the nines, and WSB. That's what you got to tune into. All the nines, all the fives, and WSB. The whole gang's here tonight. Deb Green produces the show. Shlongoria, the Stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Low T screens your calls. Actually, John is on the other side of the takeout window. Low T is hovering like a helicopter.
Longoria is hovering.
Yeah,
hovering.
Longoria is hovering like a helicopter mom.
I am.
You wouldn't hover. That takes effort, Chuck.
No,
Chuck,
I would sit down.
We might as well get you a lazy boy chair for back there.
Ooh, that'd be
kinda have
great.
one.
Is it? Does that lean back a little
Oh,
bit?
yeah,
Oh, look at that.
It's like the
Tip all the way
Cadillac of
back.
chairs.
The Cadillac of chairs. What are we talking about? Oh, Veronica Waters coming here in a second. We are talking about, before we get to Veronica, the sleep study that said couples that touch during the evening have happier relationships. And the closer they sleep together, the happier they are. If there's 30 inches or more between couples, that they tend to be not happy. Veronica Waters, newly married. You've been married, what, 2 years now? Three. Well, you got to turn your mic on. Sweet Jesus. How long you been in radio?
I just got in here.
All right.
I just walked in.
Happy third anniversary.
Whoop, whoop.
You and your lovely husband, Beck. Do you guys touch while sleeping? Do you sleep apart? How does it work?
No, we do not touch while sleeping. I'm one of those people who likes to have my toe touching his toe,
Oh.
or something. It's like a little contact. He hates it. He's so freaking. He says he's just so hot. He really does it's like his
It's
body
the
goes
pheromones. Yeah, they just bursting.
it's like
off
a
their
heater.
head. All right.
So he's not into the touching.
Yeah, but
you know.
do you sleep kind of near each other or far apart?
No, we sleep in different rooms.
Oh, nice. All right, excellent. So you guys are doing well.
Yeah, we're doing all right. We did.
Fantastic. All right.
It's a honeymoon.
That's. I didn't want to get too personal with you, but that was nice. There's a story I want you to talk about. It's a story we talked about a couple months ago here on the station, and it really hit me hard. It was a murder-suicide in Vinings. And a woman doctor, killed her 2 sons. You're shaking your head. Am I getting the
She's
stats
a business.
wrong?
She sold medical equipment and some other
she was in the
things.
medical industry.
Her husband is the surgeon.
And politically connected. Like this was like a power couple. Like this is a legitimate, successful couple. Apparently, the marriage hit some bumps in the road, and next thing you know, the woman kills her 2 children, adult children, which we never see. If there is some murder-suicide like that, it's the younger kids, but they're adult children, and then kills herself. And we have some new information on that story today. What did you find out for us?
Well, the Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office completed their autopsies of Marcia Edwards and her children with her ex-wife, Christopher Edwards and Aaron Edwards. All of them stellar in their respective fields, up-and-coming, successful. Aaron was a student, popular. So this hit a lot of people hard.
Yeah.
So what we found from the autopsy results was, in a way, not surprising. They did die of gunshot wounds, as was suspected. What we did learn was the extent of the injuries, and that the children were, in fact, each shot several times before Marcia Edwards killed herself with a gunshot to her chest.
Yeah, so that was new information. We didn't know that the children, she shot her children, her adult grown children, multiple times in this horrific murder-suicide. But that's really all we know. We still don't know, do we? A motive, what happened, why this happened, anything like that?
I have never heard anything about a motive or a letter or a fight or depression or an illness or anything that's caused it. So I think to many of us on the outside, it's a mystery.
Yeah.
What I could not tell, but was hoping to hear from an investigator or one of the doctors in the ME's office, was whether or not the autopsy results could tell us in detail how they were shot. And by how, I mean, when you read the autopsy results, you see that, for example, Aaron was shot twice in the arm.
Okay.
Once in the chest.
Okay.
Christopher was shot in his back. He was shot in his arm. He was shot in the back of his head.
Wow.
He had 6 gunshot wounds total. And so we don't really know how that scene played out. We also know that he was in a different room and on a different floor of the home than were Marcia and Aaron.
Interesting. Wow. So, yeah, there's a lot of questions there. Talking to Veronica Waters on the story out of the Vinings area, and this jumped off the page for me when this story broke, because sadly we hear all too often about these murder-suicides, and usually it's younger children, like toddlers, unfortunately, young kids, and sometimes it's not even the biological parents that do it. It's, a stepfather that gets kicked out of the house or whatever, comes back, kills the mom and the kids. But this one was, this was a successful, well-to-do family with grown children. That is what made this so befuddling to me. I've never seen anything like this.
I don't think either of us has, and that's saying a lot for having been in this industry as long as we have. And those family annihilators, as they're called, usually have some sort of, I think it's identified as some level of narcissism, in that they believe that the people they leave behind would not be better off if they were to take their own lives. So they often kill the small, kill the family first and then themselves. This is just a mystery. And if you recall, one of the things that made headlines before was that Marcia Edwards had this great social media post a day or two, but just days before, talking about what a great time they'd had together in this overseas trip. And it's just, I don't know them personally, but I have friends who know them personally. And this is just, it's a very hard story to report.
Very well-connected family in Atlanta. I mean, it's
hard to hear. It's hard to.
They touched a lot of lives. Do we know, have we heard from the doctor, the man, the husband, the father that survived? And
so at some point after this, he did speak. He thanked people because literally he was getting condolences from around the globe.
Yeah.
And he did want people to know that he had been getting their cards and letters and messages. He thanked them. He said he didn't want to talk anymore about it publicly, and understandably.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, it's different, and I don't want to get too down, but this was a story that intrigued all of us when we first talked about it. But if you think about it, Deb, if you have a husband and he loses, let's say hypothetically, he's got a wife and 2 grown kids, and they all die in a car accident, right? That's a level of grief. Like, oh my God, that poor guy, his whole family was wiped out in a bad car crash. But that is something that I'm not going to say is easier to deal with. But what this guy's dealing with, he lost his whole family, and it wasn't like an act of God car crash. Ex-wife. It wasn't act of God car crash. It was malicious murder suicide. I can't even comprehend how you even begin the grieving process of that and coming to grips with losing your entire family, your grown children like that. So I'm thankful you came in and gave us an update, Veronica. And if we get any more info on this story, please pass it along to us.
Absolutely. Right. I think, and who knows if we'll ever get an answer. I think a lot of people would like to know the why.
Yeah.
How something like this could happen to a family like this.
Absolutely. And if and to the doctor, if you are ever in touch, please pass along our best wishes as well. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Clean the slate. The bad news is over. The good news begins with our buddy Russ in Gainesville.
Russ, come here a minute. I want to talk.
All right, Russ, pick the show up, buddy. That was a big downer. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, that's a little difficult to follow.
I know. Let's start with question A. Who are you with tonight, my friend? Who's?
Well, that's the thing. I'm in a hotel room and coming by myself.
Whoa!
I had a car wreck on Veterans Day and
knocked out your headlights. Yeah, hold on. Let me recap. If people aren't paying attention, Russ was with Joy driving to Canton, rear-ended somebody. Joy's head went into the windshield because she wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and he couldn't drive his car home because the headlights were out. So what happened after that, Russ?
Well, it's more than the headlights out. So I had the car towed to Cumming.
Yeah.
And parked. So I parked here. I actually slept in the car last night. That was interesting.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I bought. The radiator's busted, so I bought a gallon of water for the radiator if I needed it, so I could start the car and heat it up. And this morning I reached out and got the water to take a drink, and it was frozen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm in a hotel room tonight, and Joy, now that we brought her up, because that was my first date with her after we broke up and everything, but when we sleep together, she lays her head on my chest.
Aww,
and I got to tell you, that's the greatest feeling in the world. And she'll sleep all night like that.
Is she?
And I don't even care if I sleep because it feels so good. I just love
that is a good feeling. But eventually, I'll tell Maya, like, all right, go over to your side. Like, it's nice.
That's enough.
But I got to go to sleep. Is Joy okay though? I mean, last we talked.
Yeah, she's okay. She's okay. She said her head hurt yesterday, but she's okay. She called me a little while ago. She's okay.
All right. In your plethora of female companions throughout the years, did you have any odd sleeping partners? Someone that didn't want to be touching you, that wanted to sleep on the couch? That
I had this one girl named Lauren a couple 3 years ago at the lake house, and she would, I don't know, it was weird. She had this, I don't know what it was, but she would jerk and kick and stuff at night on that one. She was very difficult to sleep with.
She had the Jimmy legs, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So in your relationships, multiple, do you find that it's a better relationship if you guys are sleeping closer in bed or further apart in bed?
Oh, I love it. I love to touch a woman when I'm sleeping.
You love to
love it.
Yeah.
So
as long as it's consensual, Russ. You can not touch a woman who's sleeping without consent. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, sure.
All right, fair enough. Russ, so I'm worried about the Christmas card. Are you now lodged in Cumming for good? Like, where can we send
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to buy another car now. But how do you go look for a car when you don't have a car to drive?
You would think
it's like a catch-22.
Yeah. No, apps are not going to work for Russ, Veronica. What I suggest you do is you put your head together with Joy, and you guys figure out a plan, and you get another mode of transportation, because we need Russ mobile, because a mobile Russ is a fruitful Russ.
Very good.
All right. Russ, always a pleasure, buddy. Enjoy coming tonight. Think of it as a staycation, buddy.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Come here a minute. I want to talk to
All right, there you go. A little double Russ. When we come back, more on this. Deb's got a really interesting story that I think we can all relate to as well. We'll discuss that. Johnny Kielbasa with legitimate breaking fast food news. You are not going to want to miss this. That's coming up at 7:37. It's the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I forgot to mention this. This is a very historic day if you're my age or older. Do you have any idea why this is a historic day? Chuck, wake up. I'm talking to you. Turn off Netflix for a second.
No,
Chuck.
he's on the phone.
Actually doing his job?
Yeah, well.
All right. Why is in entertainment history, this is a historic day, Deb
okay.
Green. Entertainment history.
Is it something to do with music or TV?
TV. Yes, classic, one of the best TV shows of all time.
Like a 30-year anniversary, maybe?
You won't get it. It's not an anniversary. What's today's date?
Then. Today is November 13th.
November 13th. Why is that a famous day in television history?
Why?
You'll find out right now.
On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence. That request came from his wife. Deep down, he knew she was right, but he also knew that someday he would return to her. With nowhere else to go, he appeared at the home of his friend Oscar Madison. Several years earlier, Madison's wife had thrown him out, requesting that he never return. Can two divorced men share an apartment without driving each other crazy?
November 13th was the day that Felix Unger's wife kicked him out of the house.
Because they didn't touch when they went to bed.
Because they slept on the other side of the bed.
Yep.
I am such a slob. Oscar Madison, like that when I watched that show as a kid, I think that shaped my life because he was a sports writer, and I always wanted to be a sports writer, and he was a slob, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'll be a slob then.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you?
You've emulated it pretty well.
I did, yeah. I started my career as a sports writer, and I'm still a slob at age 45. All right. I got a story when we come back after news, weather, and traffic. Plus, Johnny Kielbasa is going to join us with a fast food review. I want you to think about this, guys, because I'm going to ask you the top 10 most embarrassing situations that people have dealt with in their lives. So think about that. I want to know, Longoria, Low T, Deb Green, the most embarrassing situation in your life. We'll discuss when we come back. And I, of course, will tell you my most embarrassing situation. I think Veronica knows this story. You guys might know this story. I almost quit this job. That's how embarrassing this story was. And it has nothing to do with me going to the bathroom, Longoria. When we come back, our embarrassing moments and Johnny Kielbasa with breaking fast food news on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. This is The Mark Arum Show.
Hey, this is Louis Anderson, and you're listening to The Mark Arum Show.
It's so good to be born in America, where all men are free. It's so good to be born in America, all the home of the red, the white, and the blue.
7:37, 39 degrees on Peachtree Street, which reminds me, a 2 on the Mark Arum Show back sweat meter. The only sweat I had today was walking Bosco before the show, and I was in the sun wearing a jacket and sweatshirt. That's the only reason why I was a 2 on the Mark Arum Show. Mark Arum Show back sweat meter. Speaking of cold temperatures, going to be cold again, Schlongoria, tomorrow.
It is.
Ice possibility for your commute. Make sure you wake up with us at Atlanta's Morning News with Scott Slade. Myself, Mark McKay, Ashley Frasca, Veronica Harrell will guide you around the icy patches, Kirk Mellish's forecast, and, of course, complete impeachment coverage from the nation's capital and Jamie Dupree. All right, before we get to Johnny Kielbasa and the fast food review, and breaking news on that, by the way, embarrassing situations. Some survey, another one of these Deb Green surveys. She might just be making these up.
She probably is.
Whatever. It's show prep. It does be good.
Better than what we had.
I want to know what people say are the 10 most embarrassing situations in their life, Deb Green. Go from 10 to 1. Longo, find a little drum roll or something we can get underneath Deb Green here while she begins.
All right. So number 10, they said, is speaking in front of a large group, which terrifies me, but it's not embarrassing.
It's a scary situation.
Yeah, public speaking.
I guess fumbling during public speaking would be embarrassing.
So that's
okay.
number 10. Number 9 is have a child having a temper tantrum in public. So you too might be able to relate to that.
That hasn't happened to you yet, Chuck, right? Your sweet daughter.
Oh, yeah. She amps out all the time. She's ragey.
Are you bringing her to Kirby G's tomorrow?
No.
She's ragey.
She's super ragey. She'll be fine, and then she just hulks out, and you're like, what is happening to you right now?
Shlongoria, your daughters, do they ever lose it in public and embarrass you?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. That's what kids do.
All right, yeah, I guess that would be embarrassing.
They don't care.
All right.
Yeah, no kidding.
Number 8 is having a significant other do a tantrum. So your wife, husband, boyfriend,
I've
girlfriend.
seen Chuck's wife do a temper tantrum many times and
I'm
lose
going to
it.
tell her you said that.
I was a witness. Anyway, go ahead.
All right,
The Christmas party last year, remember that?
No.
When he motorboated Pineapple Johnson?
Stop. None of that happened.
Next one. Sorry.
Number 7 is tripping in public.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I would think the kids acting out is more embarrassing than tripping in public.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you do a face plant into like...
If you know a bunch of people are watching.
Yeah, I mean, if you were in like a grade school or high school, that'd probably be really
That'd be
embarrassing.
more embarrassing,
but
yeah.
At 42.
All right, that was number 7?
Number 6, having the hiccups in a meeting. Like work meeting.
Yeah, that wouldn't embarrass
Depends on
me.
if you care about your coworkers.
Yeah.
It's hiccups. Big deal. All right,
Gas
number
would be worse.
Yeah, exactly. Number 5 is falling asleep in public.
My dad has made it an art of falling asleep in public. Like, you take him out, and I don't know if it's narcolepsy, but
No, it's just getting old. I mean,
I think he's getting to a
he
point
did
where
it at
grandfather did the same
35.
thing.
At 35, he would pass out. I mean, he's a
Really?
hardworking dude. But if he had a chance to take 5 minutes, we'd be at the Caldor store, and my mom's
Finds a chair.
trying on shoes. He'll take a 5-minute power nap anywhere.
I think this is a product of an older generation that worked harder than we did.
Oh, yeah.
Because my dad
Speak
would,
for yourself.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's
You
I'm
shouldn't
lumping-
even take naps.
I'm lumping you all in with me. But my
Yeah.
dad would fall asleep in an instant anywhere he could shut his eyes for 2
My dad,
seconds.
the same thing.
And he'd be out. I'd be like, how does he do
Yeah,
that?
he can sleep whatever, whenever for as little amount. Yeah, all right, next one.
All right,
Deb.
number 4 is forgetting somebody's name, which I do that all the time.
I freeze in the hallways here at the station.
Thank goodness social media is around because I can just look them. Oh, that guy.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're not friends with them, like I've worked with people here 15, 20 years, and you could put a gun to my head and I don't know their
remember their
name.
name.
That's why I say, hey, what's up, man? What's up, dude?
Yeah, I know, but
What's
that's
up,
so
girl?
obvious sometimes.
Well, no.
Like I am.
If you do it every time, they don't think it's...
I literally, when I have to go to the third floor for meetings, because there's TV people up there that I've worked with for 20 years, but I don't work with them. You know, we've just worked for the same company. And they'll be like, hey, Mark. And I'm like, Josh, Steve, you know, I'm just like, I don't know. And I'm like, one of these days they're going to call me out and be like, you don't know my name, do you? And I'm like, nope. That is really embarrassing. All right, next one.
Number 3, Longoria said it, passing gas in public.
Only if they hear you.
What did you say?
Only if they
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
Like, if it's silent, you can blame it on anything.
Yeah.
Unless it's just you and one other person, then it's
Yeah,
obvious.
and if there's no dog around to blame it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Like
Number
a
2.
plane, just let it go.
Number 2, getting an answer wrong in front of the boss. That doesn't really apply to us.
I am Johnny. I've Johnny mastered the meeting situation.
Yeah.
I am the king of meetings
Yeah.
because I've done so many of them. I have never given the wrong answer. I know what to say, when to say it. I know when to not ask questions. That's just important in a meeting. Like when you need to shut the hell up and get out of that meeting, and you got the eager beaver. It's like, oh, one more question.
And
It's
you
like,
give him that side eye.
Yeah.
Like, stop talking.
I am the king of meetings. I know how to do it. I'm like Costanza. All right, I'm out.
Get out on a high note,
I say a funny line. I ask a good question, and I shut the hell up. I should teach a class on giving good meeting or getting good meeting because I am awesome at it. There's a time where like you just need to shut up. I don't care if you have a legitimate question for the boss. You just shut up. We're going to end this meeting now. That's class lesson number 1. All right.
All right. And number 1, most embarrassing situation, coughing in a quiet place.
What?
Yeah, that's what it says. Coughing in a quiet. Yes, exactly.
That was horrible. Yeah. That's a horrible
didn't
number.
make That's a it horrible up.
number 1.
I think you did make it up.
Like the speaking in public one, you know, messing up in public is more embarrassing
than coughing.
Coughing around a bunch of strangers.
Unless, all right, I'll
guess
tell
it
you
depends
what.
on the situation.
The only time it's embarrassing to cough in a quiet place is in church.
Yeah, but
serious
like if you get if you get the
giggles, that's embarrassing.
but if you can't stop coughing at church,
yeah,
or synagogue, Jews Nugget, Like, that's what I've been embarrassed because, so when I went to my cousin's kid's bar mitzvah, and I had got something in my throat, like a tickle in my throat.
Tickle.
And this poor kid's up there trying to read Hebrew, and I'm like, like that. That was embarrassing. All right. Good job, Deb. I find validity in that list. Let's do a little fast food review with Johnny Kielbasa.
And now, on the Mark Arum Show, it's time for the Fast Food Review.
Joining us live on the Greasy Salty Hotline from parts unknown, height unknown, weight we do not want to know, Johnny Kielbasa and the ever so popular Fast Food Review. How you doing, Jonathan?
Stop the world because Deb Green Googled something, and I'm wrapped in bacon. I'm here for the taking. I'm covered with cheese. I am to please, Big Daddy.
And
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Before we get to the breaking news, I'm going to need the breaking news sounder a second. A special birthday wish to Holly Evans, who turns, I'm not going to say her age, but she is Traffic Trooper Herschel's wife. A big birthday for her today, and she's a big fan of Johnny Kielbasa, so I want to wish her a happy birthday just before the start of the Fast Food Review. So happy birthday, Holly. We love you and your husband, Herschel. He is invaluable to the traffic team, so a big happy birthday to Holly Evans. All right, legitimately breaking fast food news.
Where is
Give me the goods, Johnny K.
Breaking news tonight, Mark Arum. I took the black car down to Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm just pulling out now because they had something big going in the test kitchen. Thanksgiving came early to all the people in the beautiful city of Jacksonville, Florida. Too bad we're not going to get it this year, but next year, just wait, Mark, because Hardee's is testing out Thanksgiving in a box.
Did you hear that, Longoria? Thanksgiving in a box being test marketed by Hardee's in Jacksonville. Explain Thanksgiving in a box, Johnny K.
Well, Mark, hopefully, cross your fingers, next year at this time, we're going to have a box from Hardee's, and it's going to have 3 different things that you never see anywhere. Start off with the big thing, and that's going to be your chicken tenders, but they're going to be breaded in stuffing. Breaded chicken tenders.
Stuffing
Mark.
breaded chicken tenders. You got me. Uh-huh.
That's curveball number 1. 1-0 coming at you. Sweet potato waffle fries, not just waffle fries, not just sweet potato fries. Sweet potato waffle fries.
All right, I can live without those, but I know why people like them. But they're not my favorite thing.
2-0. Mark Arum sitting in the box at 2-0. Is he going to swing? Here comes curveball number 3. Green bean fries, Mark. That's a thing now you'll see around pubs. You'll take green beans and bread them up like they're French fries and fry them. And you know what? I actually dig green bean fries. You don't see them in fast food. I don't think you've seen them anywhere in fast food.
No, I'm on board with green bean fries.
So Mark Arum.
Yeah.
Sitting there at 3-0 on Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Hitter's pitch. If it's anywhere near it, you're going to knock it out of the park because you get a big thing of chicken gravy to dip it all in the Thanksgiving box, Mark.
What?
Not just enough gravy for the chicken tenders, but enough gravy for the chicken tenders, the sweet potato waffle fries, and the deep fried green beans.
Legitimate? You get a little thing of gravy in there, too?
No, you get a big thing of gravy. It's not just like a side of ranch. It's a little tub.
We have to wait till next year, though?
Well, unless we do a road trip to Jacksonville, Thanksgiving in a box.
Get in the car,
stuffing breaded
There's
chicken
a Whataburger
tenders,
over there, too.
Sweet potato waffle fries, green bean fries, and a vat of gravy. I am all on board for that. Good job, Hardee's. That's game-changing right there, if it's any good. Go ahead, Chuck.
I was just going to say,
it's going to be good.
For folks that want to try it but still want to do their turkey dinner, they should do what Chick-fil-A does, and you get like a party platter, and you use it as the appetizers, as people are coming over for dinner.
Yeah.
So they can sample all this stuff, and you can drink and hang out, and then you can have your regular
There you
dinner.
go. Martha Stewart Jr.
Or party at his house.
Yeah, party at Chuck Stonehouse. All right, so we might have to do... Here's one thing, too. I got a suggestion or request for Deb Green. I have never in my life had a turducken. Have you guys had a turducken before?
No.
A turkey stuffed with a chicken stuffed
No,
with
but
a
I've
duck?
always wanted to do that.
You bring in food every week, Deb. Can you try to finagle us a turducken at some point?
For Thanksgiving?
I don't care when it is.
I'll do some research.
All right.
Yeah, you could probably only get them around Thanksgiving.
Whatever.
You can go to Publix and make them whenever you want.
Shopping is a
We don't have
pleasure.
anywhere to cook around here. I'm not going to do that.
I know. Well, we're doing a live show from Publix in a couple weeks. So
there you go.
Yeah, maybe. But if you can, Deb,
All right, let me see what I can find.
find me a turducken. Johnny K, we appreciate you as always, and
if the cholesterol's high, baby, Soma. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and listen to the Sausage Hut podcast on any pod app or JohnnyKielbasa.com.
All things Kielbasa on JohnnyKielbasa.com. Appreciate you, bruh.
Anytime, bruh.
And thanks to Johnny for not rubbing in the literal ass whooping he gave me in fantasy football last weekend.
What was that, 150 to 4?
I've never been beat like that. Yeah, it was. I felt like a waffle sweet potato fry. That's how bad I was. Johnny, talk to you later, buddy.
All right, bro.
All right, when we come back, my most embarrassing moment, Longoria's most embarrassing moment, Deb Grain and Low T's as well, on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. That's a hell of a breaking fast food story right there that you heard first from Johnny Kielbasa. Thanksgiving in a box from Hardee's. We'll be right back on The Mark Arum Show.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Real quick, most embarrassing moment of your life, Longoria. You're up first.
Wow. I think when I was a kid, I got pooped on by a bird, and during outside playing.
Yeah.
And I had to basically wear that the whole day.
For the whole day. All right, that's embarrassing. Chuck, most embarrassing moment of your life.
I can't believe you said that because the one I could think of was I was hitting on a girl. I was all leaned up on her door, talking to her, trying to lay some game.
Bird poop.
Bird crap right on my face.
That's ironic. Deb Green, you got a non-bird poop embarrassing story?
One of my closest friends is in a band, and he tried to get me to come sing on stage with them, and I do not sing.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't stop until I went out there and horribly sang.
Oh,
it was awful.
That's embarrassing.
Yes.
All right, my most embarrassing, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it quick. This is back, Pete Spriggs, our boss, his first year. He just got hired. I'm doing the Braves pregame show, and Pete's like, hey, I'm taking my son and his friend to the game. Come see us when you get a chance. So I go there. The kids are like 8 years old, 7 years old. And they're on the baseball team together. And I played college baseball. So I said to Pete's son, are you a pitcher? He goes, yes. I'm like, are you left-handed or right-handed? He goes, right-handed. So I grab his right arm, and I'm like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a saw and cut off your right arm, and then you'll have to learn how to throw left-handed, and you'll get a better chance of making the majors. And I make this big production, like a fake saw on his arm, and the kids just staring at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, oh, don't worry. I'll put your arm back on. It won't be a big deal, blah, blah, blah. Didn't think anything of it. Watch the rest of the inning. Get up to shake everybody's hands. Shake Pete's hands. His son's hand. His son's friend has no right arm. I went through this whole schmeal about cutting this kid's arm off and be like, no, don't worry. I can put it back on.
Yeah.
And the kid next to him, listening to me do this whole story, has no right arm. I had no idea.
He didn't jab you or something.
Yeah,
I literally threw up. And I thought I was going to be fired. That was by far the most embarrassing moment of my life. Veronica Waters reminded me of number 2. There was a tour group of Lebanese exchange students in here.
I remember that one.
I remember
And my
this
friend, one of my best friends is Lebanese, and he taught me all these Lebanese words, but they're all bad. And basically, I said, hey, you ladies of the night, with the bad, and they all gasped. They went, there you go, star of the show. I'm going off the wall on this one. Tim Andrews reminded me that Felix Unger was kicked out on November 13th, so throwing him a bone. On Twitter and Instagram, at Mark Arum, Facebook, Mark Arum, WSB. In the meantime, go to sleep, little baby. Oh, and bother Chuck at Kirby G's tomorrow. Bother Chuck, 4 to 6 p.m. at Kirby G's in McDonough.
Guests of the Mark Arum Show stay at the All Suite Omni Hotel, located in the heart of Chicago's Magnificent Mile.